Achtung, Millwall.
Hello dear listeners, welcome to an international edition of Achtung Millwall. So don't tell me, listeners, that we don't travel far and wide across the vast oceans. Here we are with my driver for the afternoon, Mr. Michael Avery, on the Isle of Sheppey, Michael.
We've had our shots, dear listener, we've had our tetanus. We've not stopped to speak to many of the locals, but we thought we'd venture out to top of the table Isthmian pitching South-East Division clash between 3rd place Beckenham and 6th place, 7th place Sheppey United. Big game.
6th or 7th, I think they are. We're down here at Sheppey United's ground, Holm Park, which is very nice. I think we've both been struck by the nice little setup they got here, Michael. Since we've come in, it's been, look at this, look at that, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we were saying, I came here a few years ago when it was still in sort of development stages, if you will, the stadium. Say stadium ground, whatever you call it. Yeah. But it's definitely got a lot bigger and more elaborate since I was last here. We've got 4 stands around. We're around by the
dugout side.
So we've got 4 stands, a nice bar area. There's a tunnel. There's a club shop. There's a little burger area, and it is a rather modern setup for what's traditional non-league football.
Absolutely. I was just saying, I don't know if I think it's a compliment. I'm saying it looks like it's been done on a budget. The bar area opposite where we're standing is 2 porter cabins stacked on top of a fairly large area of porter cabin with changing rooms and the club bar. Very nice, incidentally. We've had a couple of beers to kick us off for the afternoon.
I am driving, so just the one
Michael's
before the DVLA.
I'm not driving, so my content may get a little slurred by the end of the afternoon.
I think I'm allowed one more shandy.
The rest of the ground is standing level. They've got kind of covered areas which I think are shipping containers converted into roofs, Michael.
Yeah, but nicely done. And I have to say as well, obviously when we do the non-league, we tend to do a few of the Skeffley stuff and the Skeffley, main new word, Skeffel Prem and Essex County. But I'll tell you what, I'm not sure whether it's non-league weekend or it's just because this is such a big tie. We were saying on the way down that Sheppey's really a one-club island in a way.
It is.
You know, there's not many other teams.
One
here.
horse as well.
Yeah, yeah. And Beckenham's quite a big team in the non-league area, and I'll finish this quickly because we're going to do a minute silence. Yeah. But there's quite a lot of people here.
Team's just forming up for a minute of silence, listeners.
Ex-player John Hutchins and long-time rights man Rick Parsons. Although an ex-Sheppey player, John also played for Margate, and was well known among the island community after his playing days ended. Robin lost his body battle with illness earlier this week and was a regular at Holm Park and away games for many years, and was also an avid Leeds United fan. Robin Henry, Sheppey United, we send our sincere condolences to John and his family and friends at this sad time. There will now be a minute's equivalence in respect of both John and
Nicely done. Non-league is built on the efforts of volunteers. I imagine, like the chap they just mentioned there. So nice gesture by Sheppey United. Red and white stripes for Sheppey, and all blue today for Beckenham Town. I did do a trip to Beckenham Town earlier on in the season, but they're placed quite nice in the same 3rd place. I think you said, Michael, aren't they? Going for promotion, I guess, to the Isthmian Premier.
Yeah, we'll go into more detail with the typed up show notes later on.
Michael's done some show notes.
I couldn't be bothered to write it. I've got cramp. But basically, yeah. So if results go their way, Beckenham would end up going 3 points behind the leaders. But I know I just said it there in a quick way before they started the minute applause. But it's a decent turnout. Good numbers.
It looks a decent number. I think Beckenham brought a few. There we go. Game has kicked off, listeners. Yeah, decent numbers. I don't know, 300?
I was going to say easily 250,
ish, which is not a bad turnout. It's in a fairly open area. It's like countryside around the ground, straight off of I think it was the A249 we came over the bridge.
Past the recently built KFC and Morrison's.
Past the big Morrison's on the island. And it's a nice looking pitch, a 4G pitch, listeners. So it's beautiful to look at. We'll be checking in with the game at various points during proceedings.
Just before we check out, they They are knocking the ball around quite nicely, Sheppey.
Started up early, yeah, nice style. So we'll come back later on. Let's just stay with this little move here. They've got the ball on the edge of the D, shot from distance. That's scuffled through to the orange-clad goalkeeper. There we are. We'll come back later on when there's any moments of interest to bring to you listeners. 5 minutes in, and a wind-assisted crossing from the right side there, as a chap sitting next to me just said. Early goal for Sheppey United, Michael. Nice. There's been some nice stuff so far. There's 1 or 2 moments down at the Beckenham attack in the Sheppey end, and that's an early goal, obviously, for the Ites.
You know what? It's
get with the local lingo.
Yeah, I have local lingo, exactly. And also the guy who scored, I don't know if you saw, just did a yoga pose. So is he?
Well, there's benefits to yoga, listeners.
Absolutely.
For other people, not me.
Yeah. Not only does it get you out of bed easier, but you can score goals from the right wing.
Ball floated in from the right side. It beat the goalkeeper at the far left post, and it's 1-0 to Sheppey.
Yeah, I'd say that you were saying about the quality of the football, though, Nick. But I mean,
it's been pretty good so far.
This level's competitive. Obviously, every sort of semi-pro and even Sunday League level is competitive. But like a couple of Beckenham players sort of half had their head down a bit. But you think Beckenham's probably it's been quite tight the way they're knocking the ball around Sheppey. But Beckenham had a couple of chances to score.
They did.
You know, a couple of corners as well. Keeper's pulled off some good save from Sheppey, and that's Sheppey's only real attack on goal.
First move forwards.
Yeah. But again, Sheppey knocking the ball around nicely. I'm pleasantly surprised.
There we are, 6.5 minutes in now, 1-0 to Sheppey United.
Get up a bit, Rob! Get up!
Left-sided crossing for Sheppey. It's a deep one. It's being headed back. There's 2-0. Headed in from close, Michael. Nice little move.
Yeah, I hope the
You predicted that, didn't you?
Yeah, I hope the pod just heard me say that's a good cross, because he lofted it up really nicely there.
Ticking towards 15 minutes. It's now 2-0 to Sheppey. It's a bit of a disaster from the Beckenham point of view. They are the higher rated side out of the two.
Yeah, I mean, he lofted up well. I mean, the cross was good, don't get me wrong, but the yeah, he's not too chuffed, is he?
That's the manager, ain't happy.
No. But I mean, the initial header back across he got up really nicely, didn't he? There was no foul there, and then just nodded in from about 7-8 yards out.
Nicely taken.
The ultras are happy.
Absolutely. Sheppey come into this game, listeners, with 3 wins, 2 losses out of their last 5. Beckenham 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. So moderate form, I suppose you'd say. Beckenham, I think, if memory serves, came into today's game 3rd position. Michael's got his show notes here.
Actually, Beckenham came into this game in 3rd place with 59 points. Sheppey came into this in 7th on 52, so there's only 7 points between them. Ramsgate, who are currently top of the table, are on 65. So we did say before the start, if Beckenham it goes their way, they'd be just behind. But I think Sheppey will be right back in the sort of mix for hunting down the top spot.
Decent win if it stays like this, listeners. Obviously, long way to go now. What we are on 17, come towards 18 minutes. Still 2-0 to Sheppey. It'd be a decent win if the result if they put it off.
Yeah, well, the reverse fixture, which I've written down here back in August, saw Beckenham win this 2-1. So Sheppey will try not to at least lose at the very least, and the team don't do the double. But I have to say, with it being on league day today, without trying to sound too cheap, they want to get people in. So they've said if you're a season ticket holder of any club, you get in for half price. So
£5. Oh, we paid a £5 to get in.
£5 to get in, and we paid a tenner at the bar.
I gladly had a pint of Moretti on account of that cheap entry price, listeners.
But yeah, going back to it, this is top of the table clash in a decent league, and it's cost me and Nick collectively a tenner to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the ground is Holm Park, which is Sheppey United's. Well, they've played at a number of grounds, but their main ground on formation. It's actually quite an old club, listeners. 1890 it was formed, and they were original Southern League members with Millwall.
Yeah, there's an awful lot. There's an awful lot of history in the bar area as well.
They've done that quite nice. The bar is quite nice. They capture the history of the club. It's had a tempestuous history. I'm not going to go into all of it, but it's kind of been in the highs, if you want, of the old pre-First World War Southern League. And then went out of existence briefly in the 80s and 90s, I think it was. It became an AFC club. But this is Sheppey United. This is connected to the original club. They claim the 1890 start heritage, and it's the bar features lots of nice photographs. Actually, it's a nice little bar. the whole setup, as we've said a few times, is very pleasant. I've enjoyed it as a trip out today.
On the stairwell as well, they've got their trophy cabinet, which seems to have more trophies in than Millwall's do. Granted, the level might not be as high as some of the level Millwall plays in, but even that's impressive. Like they've got a huge trophy cabinet with history and cups and dates and plaques and memorial things. So that looks good. Beckenham on the attack here. Number 9 left foot.
It's just gone wide right of the goal there.
But even like the old vintage photos of the teams back in the early 1900s, pre-war, and
they've got their own YouTube channel. I'm just seeing it. IT TV.
IT TV. There we are. If it was me, it would be Shite TV.
I've got to be careful, listen. I've had a pint already, so my tongue may be loosened by the end of the fixture. But there we are. Southern League runners-up, Division 2 in 1890s, 95-96. That's when Millwall would have been in the Southern League. Kent League champions a few times. Skeffel champions. Victor League. You know, they've got quite a few honours, one way and the other. Michael's just made an interesting footballing point, which I hope to break back into the.
I might just sit down and get light-headed when I come out.
It's a windy day, and both of the goals have been wind affected, haven't they? I'm wondering whether Beckenham will be, with the wind behind them in the second half, we're looking at a bit of an improvement there, Michael.
Yeah, we were just saying before Nick pressed the record button that going into this, you'd think Beckenham would be the team who are more likely to do more with it. Is it their home advantage? You don't know, but. For me, Beckenham in this first half seems to be very much like, as I just said, they're sort of riding the wave of let's just get this half done and have the win behind us.
Yeah, come back in the second maybe.
Because Sheppey, as I said there, Sheppey are knocking the ball around well, without, as I said to Nick, without throwing too much innuendo in there, the one with the most penetration. A lot of the balls to Beckenham's centre forward seem a little bit hit and hopey compared to actually a little bit more doubt on the ball through the middle kind of stuff. So. Game of 2 halves still, isn't it? Game of 2 halves.
Ball over the top, that's quite nicely done. The 7's got hold of the ball in front of the penalty, he should put it away. There it is, it's 3-0 to Sheppey now. That's a nicely taken chance, actually.
High-fiving, let's see if he high-fives us. High-five the old blokes over here.
Nicely finished, with basically ball down the middle. The 7 worked his way through the middle and rounded the goalkeeper. It's 3-0 now. This game's going to get away from Beckenham soon, Michael.
Yeah, I have to say as well, the ball's over the top. They're talking. I think one of them just shouted ref, but there we are. Look, you got a few people talking to the lino, but Beckenham looked over, no flag whatsoever, and with a referee.
I didn't pick up on offside, did you?
No, not me neither. And with the referee head on, he very much was signalling no, like it's play on. And to be fair,
is that a card being shown there?
No, I think it's just telling them to go away.
Go away.
But to be fair, they had enough chances to clear that ball.
Yeah, they mucked about with it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I don't know when we listen back to this audio, but you know, the guy didn't just bring it down and shoot. He brought it down, beat the player.
Yeah, time on the ball and rounded the goalkeeper quite nicely.
So you put your hand up, look for the flag. No flag, you should play on.
29 minutes into the first half, it's 3-0 now to Sheppey United. I think
didn't see this coming.
No.
Oh, it's
3-1.
Oh, see. Oh, they're looking for a foul as well. 3-1, see, look.
Yeah, 3-1. Ball came in from the...
Will this be the catalyst? Would it be the...
Got them angry, I don't know. The ball came in from the right side. It fell to the striker who slammed home with aplomb, dear listeners. So 3-1 now, 29, coming to the 30th minute.
One thing I will say, I say it all the time. I say it to my little team I coach, and I say it to everyone who plays football, play to the whistle. There was an offside there, they were looking for the whistle, didn't get one.
Same down the other end, straight away.
The box, they were looking for the whistle, and there weren't a whistle, play on.
We'll find out if 3-0 is a dangerous lead soon, won't we? If it carries
3-1.
3-1 now. Sheppey playing a nice passing style, listeners, I think.
Trying to keep it down.
They're trying to play the ball the right way. Here they come again. This is the 10 from distance. He's put that into the netting behind the goal there, over the top of the Ultras' heads. Almost on top of the team bus at the part behind the ground.
To be fair, the Lion mascot's the only one clapping the effort. No one else is, and I think it's because he's probably in play too.
I must say 3-0 felt a harsh scoreline on Beckenham. They've not been brilliant, listeners, but they weren't that bad. To get it back to 3-1 probably feels a little bit more like the pagan gods of Sheppey have spoken, you know. It's a nice surface. I mean, I don't know, no good asking me what it's like to play on, listeners, and 2 left feet, but...
There's not really an excuse why it's surface.
Oh, I thought there was a vape, don't I? Normally.
Don't smoke.
Do we look like vapors?
Never touched one.
It's just, no, you have...
I'm doing a podcast. Oh, yeah, no, it looked like one.
It was in your hand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Would
It
you
was
like
in
to
your
contribute
hand.
to the pod? What's your name?
No.
Please. What's your name?
You had that in your hand, and I thought it was fake.
I've deceived you.
I can't believe it.
Done ya.
I can't believe this. We're going to be deported from Sheppey.
Paul, yeah, that's right. Thrown off.
We've got our papers. They're going to put us on the next flight back. A very
Yeah, I can't remember.
articulate point.
Yeah, forget it all.
Janet over there's rude.
We nearly got done for vaping. So the ground is located off of one of the main roads into Sheerness. I think we're on the road all Sheerness when we parked up. Nice parking area here. It's a small ground. The capacity is apparently 1,900. I think that will be a very tight fit in the ground, but kind of on the brink of rural Kent, I suppose. Fields around the other side of the fences here.
We're about 10 minutes away from Mr. B's arcade, if anyone remembers Laysdown in the mid-90s, when they installed the Quasar. I'm not too far from the prison, for everyone knows that.
I've got a lot of time for any stadium where you can park easy. It's one of the things that I set a lot of store by, listeners. Obviously it looks like a well-run club.
Yeah, sorry, yes.
You know, the facilities are good. It's a nice, pleasant experience coming in.
You don't, I mean, I don't know too much about Sheppey themselves, but you don't seem like you'd have this sort of investment if it was short-term, would you?
No. The sound system, the PA system here, pretty good. You know, it's not kind of. It looks like it's a proper setup.
Oh, it is. It's not as tinny as like VCD or Erith and Belvedere. No.
Coming towards the half-time mark now, listeners. Coming towards the last few seconds of the game. 4 minutes of added time to be added on at the end of this. Been a decent half of football. Very pleasant afternoon. It's windy, sunny, beautiful sunny afternoon here.
Yeah, it's not too cold, is it?
And as we always say on these shows, Michael, this is a very pleasant way to spend your Saturday afternoon. It's one of the reasons behind non-league day, isn't it? To try and encourage people to go to their local club. And I can see what the attraction, if you live around here, it's a nice way to spend your afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why we chose this one, because it's a little bit off the beaten track, isn't it? You know, we normally, as we said earlier on, we do the Erith Towns, Erith Belvederes, the Welling Uniteds, the more local to the south-east London sort of early Kent area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just felt I messaged Nick in the week. I sort of gave him a rundown with my Skeffel limited knowledge, and
I practically foamed at the mouth for the idea of coming to the Isle of Sheppey, didn't I?
Absolutely, yeah. Do we get what is it, airline points or?
The Sheppey Tourist Board actually bumped it up for me a little bit, listeners. You know, bumsy. I have not been around these parts since we used to go on holiday to All Hallows, listeners, when I was a kid, and you're going back a hell of a long time, 60 odd years practically. There's a half-time whistle. It's a 3-1 half-time situation in favour of Sheppey United. It's been a decent game, Michael. I quite enjoyed that.
Achtung, Millwall.
Second half, about to kick off. Beckenham, all in blue, will be attacking the sparsely attended Botany Road end. The red and white stripes of Sheffield. We're going towards the Queenborough Road end. Half time, whilst Michael was on a comfort break, I've been taking one or two moody black and white shots to really get into this whole ground hopper business. I'm going to stick it on like an online magazine, Michael, called Moody Shots of Non-League Grounds, featuring dodgy looking mascots and that kind of thing.
He's like one of these dodgy people you see who lay on the floor next to a puddle to get a reflective shot, dear listener.
Funny enough, that was one of the tips I was just saying. It's not been raining this afternoon, so I can't get any decent puddle shots.
You've got to get in there, son. You ain't the squad man here.
Ball into the middle. I've got to say Beckenham look a little sharper since the second half started, as you'd expect.
The manager's literally just said there about, I don't know if that was picked up on the mic, but he said to the 9, well, we was pretty much saying like he seemed to be the first half and now he's out here, and then the manager was like, you've got to get in the box, and the ball did just drop in the box. I'm not saying the 9 should have been there or would have been there. I have to say the 8, Danny Waldron today, has impressed me. He's really pulling the strings around nicely. Seems very calm on the ball. That ball that was just played out wide to the wing.
Nicely picked out.
Yeah.
Ball bouncing around. That's nice save actually by the 8's got a shot on goal there. Nice save by the Sheppey goalkeeper.
Danny Waldron, the captain there, as we just said, he's influential. You know, a few moments ago, he's brought the ball down really nicely on his left peg, bottom corner. Keeper's done well to push it over.
Opportunity for Beckenham. 52 minutes. Sighting of a mullet out there. There's been a substitution. 15's come in. East Sporting a 1980s, late 80s, early 90s mullet.
Well, Sheppey has only just got Channel 5, Nick.
Last seen on Home and Away in the early
Yeah,
90s.
they're struggling with their ITV digital, dear listener. Remember that back in the early 2000s? Good mullet, though. I'll tell you what.
It's a great mullet.
I'll tell you this now, dear listener.
54 minutes mullet sighting.
If you're a mullet watch, if it's soccer or anything, if you have got the confidence to pull off a mullet, do it.
It's a left-sided corner for Beckenham. A little bit of Beckenham pressure. It's a left-sided corner on 55 minutes.
Pressure's good. That's the third corner in what, 5?
The delivery is, well, there was one a moment ago where it's gone through about 4 or 5 players, no one's touched it. They'll be ruining all this later on.
That's the second cross or corner in what, 90 seconds? Apart from that one that went through them all.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm not saying you're going to score from it, it'll only be 3 or 4-3, but you've got to do more from them.
Yeah. The game, we praised the game at the start for its speed, movement, some nice control. It's gone a bit frayed as the proceedings have gone along, Michael.
I have to say, coming here should use a neutral. I mean, I like Beckenham. First time at Sheppey. I like Beckenham. Sheppey are playing some nice stuff. Like I say, good setup. That's a good ball. But stay with this left hand side cross coming in. That's a great cross.
Over too high, over heads of everybody.
Yeah. If you're a Beckenham fan, and this ends 3-1 or 4-1, or if you're a Sheppey fan and Beckenham put it back, you'll be in there going, how many did we miss? How many? You know
loads.
what I mean? You know what I mean?
67 minutes, we're halfway through the second half. Game has become a little bit raggedy, Michael, I'm going to be honest. There's not been much flow.
I think Sheppey are trying to contain it and Beckenham are trying
to do something, but they're not.
It's a little bit desperation time now, isn't it?
It's got very scrappy, listeners, but it remains 3-1 to Sheppey United, which, as we've said a few times, they will regard as a good result if they can pull it off.
I mean, it's still a better level than I'd ever play.
Yeah, but we are in the roles of critics.
We're like the two. Were those two Muppets who laugh all the time when watching the show?
Statler and Waldorf.
Yeah, we're them two.
Nice save there, crossing for the right side. The 8 in front of the penalty spot. Nice flick header, but the goalkeeper's done well. They've had plenty of chances, Beckenham, which have not been taken. It's been a little bit wasteful. It's
the first cross that's actually seen an end product.
Dangerous, 68 minutes.
Oh, penalty. It's got to be.
What's he give? Penalty?
Yeah.
Penalty for Sheppey United, listeners. A little bit of twisting and turning, and the striker got taken on the right side of the penalty area. Big chance to put this game to rest for him there, Michael.
Yeah, so players ran into the box there. He looked like he was going to size up for the shot. Done those really nice little turns, where you'd sort of do that pivot on the ball. Turned the player, the Beckenham player. I'm not sure if either he's just lashed out or he was going for the original movement. He's taken the player out, but I'll say, to be fair, we shouted penalty straight away. Everyone shouted behind a goal penalty. The refs gave the penalty, but to be honest, no one's appealing. No one's saying it's not. So I think Beckenham know, and management know that it's a penalty. Do we stay with this?
Oh, we're going to stay with it. Yeah, we're on. What is it now? It's 70 minutes, 20 minutes to go.
And that header we were just saying about then a minute ago.
This is where those chances are, the moments.
Well, that's what the other.
Presumably they scored this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard it from the manager there, dear listener, but even the manager from Beckenham is saying that his player should have scored there. Header 6 yards out, free header.
Yeah.
I mean, this actually sort of shows those fine margins, because me and you have looked, that's not a bad header. Their manager's gone, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is a level where some players get paid.
They do. It's a 6 to take.
Stay with this. See if the others get
71 minutes. That's put that away. Really, really powerful. Nice penalty, top right. That's 4-1 to Sheppey.
That's a really good penalty, and there's no
That's
delay.
my kind of penalty.
That is my kind of penalty. My kind of penalty in the sense that I like to see, not one I'd hit. If that was me, I'd probably smash the window on the house behind.
Nicely taken, 4-1.
4-1.
Cold, harsh wind blowing off the wilds of the Sheppey countryside, listeners now. 15 minutes to go. 14 minutes to go. Harsh scoreline on Beckenham. They've not been brilliant, but they've not been that bad. 4-1 seems a strong scoreline from listeners. There's a ball through. Always put that over from point blank range. Beckenham have been very wasteful.
It's one of those you'd want it to hit any part of your body except for the bit that just
goes
up. Honestly, he could have ran into that.
Oh, dear me, mate.
Poor one.
That's the other side of non-league football, listeners. We're talking about 12 minutes to go now, plus any added time.
Oh.
Nicely taken by the 16 for Sheppey, pressing forwards now. We're talking about 11 minutes to go, so what's that? 79 minutes, a little bit of space on the right side. The goalkeeper spilled it. And his shot was on target, spilled by the goalkeeper, and then the follow-up was batted away for a left-sided corner. The entertainment value's turned up in a few notches in the last few minutes.
It's not been a bad afternoon. It's not been a bad game.
No, it's been a good game.
I know the game's been a little bit scrappy this half, but it's still not been a bad.
There's a scrappy phase at the start of the second half. Apart from that, it's been pretty good.
It's still a good level to watch.
Yeah.
Both teams want to play the game. They want to play football.
Game is drifting. It's now 86 minutes in, listeners. 87 minutes. 4-1 to Sheppey. They'll be very happy with this result, Michael. Little chances. They're pressing forwards. There's 5-1. Nicely finished by the 15. That's the mullet, man.
Oh, that's the mullet, man.
Nice finish. 5-1. Wow.
What a great goal.
Wow. 87 minutes.
Something's telling me Beckenham's give up a bit.
Yeah. I don't think their heart's not really been in it since the fourth goal.
Since the one that put them 3 behind.
Yeah.
But
the game got away from them in the first half.
That's a great finish.
Once you go 3-0 down, it's always going to be hard to come back from that.
Back as well. Like to get on the end of that, cut it back.
So it was try just a bit walk around the outskirts of the ground. Listeners, it's quite a wide area. Michael and I have been on the clubhouse side and the other side, so to speak. But there's a good 3-4 yards depth to the tarmac surface. It's got potential to be expanded, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You can see, like we were saying earlier on, that obviously the sort of container stands is going to be the way forward.
Yep.
Will they make things bigger? Would they expand on it? And they look like you could put some seats in. There's enough of a walkway between the pitch and the whatchamacallit in the stands.
It's a setup that feels like they want to move forwards. You know, as we arrived, the whole vibe of the club has been.
Nick, without trying to sound too stupid as well, it's like the gates outside. Like it's a nice. You know, when you drive in, it's like their actual branded
mascot. Mask waving the flag and all the rest of it. They're trying to get people in, and they deserve local support. In my opinion, because it's a very pleasant place to come to.
I mean, normally when you go to some non-league grounds, and that sounds silly, security-wise you need a gate there, but they're just gates. These are actual
proper gates, yeah. You get a sense of history and depth for the club. And the clubhouse is pleasant. It gives you a sense of history for the club. I know it reached a low point a few years ago. Listen, I think it went out of business at one point and they reformed it. But this is a club that lays claim to the history of Sheppey United, which is quite long.
As we say as well, it's one of these...
Storied.
Without trying to get too romantic, it's a shame it's so far away because, as we say, you think, I wouldn't mind coming down here again. It's a nice ground.
It's one of those journeys which, when the road's easy, it's no problem.
You glad you came here instead of Punjab United? Because that nearly swayed us.
That's next on my list. I'm going to do that another day. In Gravesend.
Where would you rank it?
In terms of enjoyability?
And layout and...
Oh, it's one of the better grounds I've been to. I'm trying to think. I mean, Welling United is obviously it's got a strange double side to it. It's got like a split personality with the era.
And it's very much our fun with Welling United. It's very much if you're watching here from Melbourne, you're on that half.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you are divided there. It's a nice enough ground. I like it as a ground. Holm Church, where Harry and I went back in the winter time last season. Very pleasant, nice clubhouse there, but that's more of a nice shot just wide left. That's more of your running track kind of grounds, athletics, which I think this is really nice because it follows the dimensions of the football pitch. The stand over there, the raised level where the clubhouse is quite nice.
And as you can see, as we said earlier on, you've got a lot of people watching out the window. So
watching out the bar, and from that side, so I think the view over there is pretty good. This is pretty good, this side.
Yeah, I've liked it here today.
This is like a slightly better version of what Fisher's Ground could be, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Agree with that.
That side over there makes... I'm pointing at something you can't see, listeners. The clubhouse over there here at Sheppey is pretty good level, whereas at Fisher it's a bit more like a meeting room type of vibe.
Yeah. With Fisher, I think Fisher, as I've said before, and this might sound like a bit of a knock on the council, because obviously when they took over the old Fisher ground, it seems like, what do we need to have a ground, but we're not going to do any more?
Yeah, it's very basic. This has had some money thrown at it because they've taken basic and they've made a nice job of it here, I think. It's certainly one of the most enjoyable grounds I've been to. Beckenham's a nice little ground, actually.
Yeah, Beckenham's nice.
That's a nice clubhouse as well.
I think with Beckenham as well, they're obviously trying to do some bits there.
Yeah.
But I think, if you go to like a Phoenix, it's quite sort of humble is the word.
Yeah.
This is quite modern.
Thinking back to the trip I made to Canvey, the clubhouse there looked like a proper, almost like a proper bar, like a place you'd walk into when you're out, that kind of thing. So that was quite nice. The rest of the ground there was pretty much like this, fairly basic. There it is, finishes 5-1 to Sheppey United. Beckenham trounced today, in truth.
Very, very good performance by Sheppey.
They'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, and they were very, very forward-thinking the way they're playing the ball. I think the big difference for me, sorry to cut you off, I think the difference was that if someone was working for Sheppey, they'd go to a plan B.
Yeah.
Beckenham seemed very reliant on wide play, especially down this left-hand side in the second half.
There we are. Nice trip out to the Isle of Sheppey. International travel for you on Achtung Grassroots. It finishes here at Holm Park. Sheppey United 5. Beckenham Town 1.
We're going on the bumper cars.
Thank you for listening.
Achtung, Millwall.